Peace and gratitude. This is Reverend Kamara Falade Bandemirwa, and this is Walk in the Spirit. Today is Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. It is a channeled message. If you would like to book a reading with me, everything is in the description box. You can email me or you can book it through my website. If you like to book a reading with me or schedule a reading with me, it's in the description box. You can either email me or you can book it through my website. This is a continuation of yesterday's live about the spirit. And I'm here to tell you that if your spirit is weak, everything else will fall apart. If your spirit is weak, that is why you have diseases in your body. That is why you have trouble, chaos, arguments, destruction, discord in your home, is because your spirit is weak. Remember, everything happens in the spirit first before we see a manifestation of it in the spirit, in the physical realm. Everything occurs in the spirit first. So that is why a person can um put a generational curse on you, because if they target your spirit, then it will have a lasting and more powerful impact. And the way a person can access your spirit is in the astral realm. So when you're sleeping, and it doesn't matter what time of day that you're sleeping, you could be taking a nap, sleeping during the day, sleeping at night, it doesn't matter. Once you are sleeping, your body or your spirit automatically goes to the astral realm. So that person can then, spirit to spirit, they can then start attaching things to you, entities to you. They can implant ideas into you, thoughts into you while you're sleeping, because your spirit has left the body, and they will then go on the astral realm and then have a toe to toe with you in the spirit. It will be spirit to spirit. That's why it's not wise to go to sleep with the TV on, because you're picking up on that energy in the spirit or in the astral realm. Also, I was hearing to tell you that it's really not wise to take sleeping medication, because sleeping medication will cause you to be so would cause you to be so, oh, what's the word I want to use? I don't want to say intoxicated. That's not the word, but so medicated that you won't even be able to move. If you need to wake up and bring your spirit back into your body, because your spirit is getting ready to encounter something harmful on the astral realm, taking sleeping medication really puts you in a comatose state. That's what I'm hearing to tell you, like in a comatose state, a coma type state. And you're so deep in the sleep, you're so deeply entrenched in sleep that literally your body can't move. And so while your spirit is on the astral realm, the entities and things that are there can have a field day with you. And it's hard to wake you up, because the sleep drugs causes your body to be in such a, like I said, comatose state. So it's not wise, although I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not giving medical advice. From a spiritual point of view, taking sleep medication just gives it gives like free reign to your spirit in the astral realm, because they know that however long that sleep medication is to last. Let's say it makes you sleep for 6 to 8 hours uninterrupted. Well, that's 6 to 8 hours that your spirit is in the astral realm, that whoever can have a field day with you, because your body is literally in this like locked state where you can't move. So like your spirit guides, your ancestors can't wake you up when your spirit is in danger in the astral realm. So it's really not advisable on a spiritual level to take sleeping medication. Also, people who have a hard time sleeping, who suffer from insomnia, and maybe that's the reason why they take uh sleeping medication, or taking different supplements or aids to help them sleep, it's usually because they're getting their butt tore up in the spirit realm. And so they are afraid to go to sleep, at least at nighttime, or they feel more safer to go to sleep during the daytime. But even that, when you suffer from insomnia, it really doesn't matter. You don't feel comfortable sleeping no matter what time of day it is. And the reason being is because your behind is getting tore up in the astral realm. You're constantly having nightmares. You're constantly being attacked in the astral realm. You're constantly being harassed and bullied, and uh, taken advantage of in the astral realm, and that's why you're suffering from insomnia. And that is why a lot of people will stay up all night playing video games. I'm not saying this is the only reason, but they'll stay up all night playing video games, or they'll stay up at the club and then go to the after hours. They'll drink, or they'll take certain drugs that just keep them up. They'll take the Red Bull, the coffee, just to keep them going. That's because in the astral realm, you are getting beat down. You're getting attacked. You may be getting assaulted physically, verbally, sexually, all in the spirit realm. And the reason this can happen is, like I said in the live I did last night, is one, you're not protecting yourself when you go to sleep. But the main thing is that you're not strengthening your and feeding your spirit. You don't venerate your ancestors. You don't have any spiritual practices. People think, oh, just because I'm doing good deeds, that should be enough. That is not enough. If you don't have a relationship with your ancestors, if you're not venerating your ancestors, if you don't have a spiritual routine, a consistent spiritual routine, if you're always low vibrational, you're always angry, you're always bitter, you're always gossiping, you're listening to low vibrational music, you're not in harmony with Mayat, truth, wisdom, harmony, law and order, righteousness. If you are, the foods that you eat, the music that you listen to, the entertainment that you entertain, the movies that you watch, the conversations that you have, all of that plays a factor. The people that you sleep with, all of that plays a factor in weakening your spirit. So it doesn't matter. You think you can do these good deeds, you can give to the homeless and you can work in the community. That is not going to strengthen your spirit. You need to do way more than that. That is something that really, really only appeals to the flesh, to the soul. It really has nothing to do with the spirit, unless you're being led to do that by your ancestors, your spirit guides. Otherwise, if you're just doing it because you feel like, this will absolve me of my sins, it's not going to do that. It's not. Like, you really have to do spiritual work. You have to do the yoga if that's what you are led to do. But you have to do things like yoga, journaling, therapy, shadow work, listening to high vibrational music. You have to go out in nature and ground yourself. You have to practice gratitude. You got to watch what you eat. You got to watch the company that you keep. You got to watch what you're constantly exposing your ear gates and your eye gates to. You have to work with your ancestors. You have to have a spiritual practice, meditating. Um, you need to do energy work like Reiki, clearing out your energy, spiritual baths, candle work, affirmations, all of that. All of that. If you're not doing that and you just think, oh, I can just do some good works in the community, no. You're going to take all that mess with you when you die. Because like I said in last night's live, if you are a addict now, alcoholic, crack, cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, you're an addict uh to shopping, to gambling, to food, to gossip, whatever. If you don't clear that up now while you're here, while your spirit is here in this vessel known as you take that with you when you die. You take that with you. Your soul takes that with you. So I know it may hurt to say to some people that if somebody in your family, died a crackhead or alcoholic and didn't clear that energy up, that's what they're doing in the afterlife. They are a crackhead and an alcoholic. It's not about what church will tell you about salvation, being saved. No. It's not about, oh, I just sinned and I asked for forgiveness. No, it is deeper than that because these things are in your energetic field. We are just energy. It's in your energetic field. It's in your spirit. It's in your mind, body, soul. You got to clear that energy out. And just asking for forgiveness is not doing it. Why do you think you ask for forgiveness, but yet you keep doing the same sin, quote unquote, over and over again? Because you got to clear that out of your energy. That's why in the Bible, I tell you, the Bible tells you some truths, but it doesn't tell you all the truths unless you have ears to hear and eyes to see. That's why in the Bible, in the New Testament, it says the renewing of your mind. It's not just, oh, let me go confess my sins. And no, because you have picked up all that negative energy when you're doing the drugs, when you're out at the club and you're dealing with all these lower level entities that has attached to you. So just asking for forgiveness is not clearing up that attachment. It's not. Going out and you think you're doing some good in the community. No. If you have not done the deep, gone in the trenches to do the soul, the work, that's how you're going to leave this planet. You're going to leave the planet with all this mess and garbage and baggage on you. You got to do the work. As Black people, what we have to do is ancestor veneration. Ancestor veneration. We have to. They will help us and tell us where we need to go to uplift our spirits and clean our spirits. They will tell us this. The biggest lie that Black people in here in the Western world have been told is that our religions, our culture, our traditions is demonic or demonic. It's of the devil. That is the biggest lie that we've been told because all it's doing is causing us to die with all this mess on us. And then what happens is you decide that once you die, you'll sell your soul if you even have one. if you even have a soul, if you didn't already sell the soul once if you didn't already sell your soul before you died, and we don't even realize a lot of us have. So even if you die with your soul, you're going to want to sell your soul in the afterlife because of all the things that you're going to have to pay for because you just didn't get it right. You didn't cleanse your spirit here in this world. And what we don't realize is more than just celebrities, quote unquote, that are selling their souls. Everyday, regular people are selling their souls and they just don't realize that they are. So a lot of you don't even have a soul. You have one, but it's so low in your body that's why you're walking around like a zombie and confused. Because the soul is there, but it's so, like, think of it as like a thermometer. Think of it like a thermometer. And your soul is like all the way at the bottom because you have sold your soul. In this lifetime, while you're on this earth, you've done something, you signed a contract, and you sold your soul. That the mercury that I don't know if they still use mercury in thermometers, but the red liquid in a thermometer or the blue liquid in a thermometer, that's all the way at the bottom, that's your soul. And it's just all the way down. And you have to do a lot of elevation, a lot of cleaning of your energy in order to get the soul to raise back up in your body. My mission, my assignment is to get you to clear up as much as that energy, negative energy as possible before you leave this world and go on to the next life. Because if you don't clean it up here, you're going to take it with you in the afterlife and it's not going to be a pleasant experience. It's just not. And I'm not talking in terms of what religion has told you about heaven and hell and how religion has indoctrinated you into what that will look like. That's not what I'm saying. Because you will just to elevate you it will be challenging if you got anybody in your family that's doing it. And that's another reason why I'm called to do this work is because you may not even have people in your family that's even elevating you. So you're just stuck, having to deal or having to repeat all of these things that you did while you were here in the physical realm. So it's so important to build your spirit because once this person's spirit is weak, it's a right. You can do anything to them. You can put all kind of curses on them, all kind of hexes on them, and you really don't even have to do it because they're gonna do it themselves by the words that come out of their mouths. So the negativity that they speak, they cursing themselves and they're hexing themselves and they're hexing their bloodline and the whole family and everything else because the spirit is weak and it starts to manifest in the body. You can tell when a person has a weak spirit based on what they allow in their life, the type of relationships that they have, based on the type of conversation that they have, the type of foods that they eat, their diet, what they choose to listen to as far as music, entertainment, social media, the news, all of that. You can tell when the spirit is weak. You can tell when the spirit has been indoctrinated, which weakens it even more. The Clark sisters have a song called In the Spirit or Walk in the Spirit. Walk in the spirit, move in the spirit. They ask God to for them to always be able to walk and move in the spirit all the time, every single day. And even though that is a religious song, is connected to Christianity, that song has a lot of spiritual significance because that's really what we want. We want to be able to every single day always walk in the spirit because we are spiritual people. Black people are spiritual people. We can connect to the spirit better than any group of people. Why do you think white people love going to black churches? Because the way that the quote unquote spirit moves in black churches. That's because genetically in our DNA, we are spiritual people. We know how to move, to conjure, to bring forth the spirit. But yet we have been told that talking to spirits and elevating spirits is wrong and it's of the devil. But yet the very thing that whites have told us is demonic is the very thing that they cipher or siphon rather on Sunday mornings when we're in church and we're praising and the choir is doing what it's doing because they know that we have the ability naturally to conjure spirit. You got to strengthen your spirit. If you do not strengthen your spirit, you are making it very easy, very, very easy for you to be attacked, for your families to be attacked, your mind to be attacked, your spirit to be attacked, your mental to be attacked if you are not strengthening your spirit. I don't care how much you work out. I don't care how much good you do in the community. I don't care how much money you make, how successful you are in your career. If you got a weak spirit, all of that is not going to be self-sustaining anyway. It's going to be gone. It's going to be here today and gone tomorrow. And stop taking I'm telling you, sleep medication is not good for you. It is not, like I said, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm talking from a spiritual perspective. All it does is just give these lower level entities access to you for 6 to 8 hours because literally you are knocked out. You are in a comatose state. And they are just ramming on your spirit. They are beating up your spirit. They are abusing your spirit on every level, financially, physically, sexually, mentally, psychologically, psychically. They are having a field day with you in the spiritual, in the astral realm. If you don't begin in the spirit first, nothing else will follow. We're so stuck on people making changes to their physical appearance that started in the spirit realm first. So when you see people releasing weight, it started in the spirit realm first, and you just see it manifesting in the physical realm. I used to get like so upset, and I'm learning like my ancestors in spirit just tells me like, girl, stop it. Like you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't be thankful that they don't have access to you. Be thankful that you're not in the cool group, quote unquote. You're not with everyone else, or you know people are treating you weird, or um giving you the cold shoulder. That's a very good thing. That means that my spirit has elevated. We are not the same. And I don't want you to have any access to me. Don't come near me. That we are in spiritual warfare. And if your spirit is weak, you're not going to survive. You're not. You're not going to survive. You have to 24/7, 365. If it's a leap year, 366 days in a year, you got to learn how to walk in the spirit. And you have to learn how to protect your spirit. Because those of us who are trained practitioners, initiated practitioners, who we do this as a lifestyle, as a living, as an assignment, we know that all once we go toe to toe with you with the spirit, it's a wrap. And most of you have weak spirits because you've been indoctrinated with Christianity. So you just make our jobs easier. You just make our jobs easier. So that I'm thinking, is that it? That's all. I'm hearing no good deed goes unpunished. And why am I hearing that? No good deed goes unpunished. That saying, that quote means that unless you go to the spirit, unless you go to the spirit of that person, people are not going to appreciate, unless that person's spirit is open and willing to the good that you're doing for them, you're going to always be punished, quote unquote, or suffer or have bad consequences or negative consequences, and I'm using air quotes, to when you do good for people or to people. That spirit, you have to go to the spirit first before you do good for people. If your ancestors, if you go to your ancestors and you ask them, should I help such and such, and they tell you no, then it's a no. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if it looks like they're really suffering and they having a hard time. The answer is no. You must consult spirit, because otherwise that good deed will not go unpunished, because you didn't consult spirit. That's what that saying, that proverb means. No good deed goes unpunished, because you didn't consult spirit. Because what it is that you're interacting with that person's spirit. It's like that spirit didn't give you permission. It's like you're trespassing. And I'm hearing to explain it to you this way. It's like you're thinking you're helping this person in the physical, because they need help or whatever. But how do you know that they're not in contract? How do you know they didn't sell their soul? And so because of them selling their soul, or because they're in contract, you helping them is actually violating that contract. Is violating the terms and the conditions of that contract, and then it's causing hell in their life. So then, because it's causing hell in their life, you are now the recipient of the residue of that karma. You're now collateral damage. That is why you are to consult spirit first, should you be helping that person.
because they may have, like I said, signed a contract, signed their soul away. And you helping them is violating the terms and the conditions of that contract. So always consult spirit, because no good deed will go unpunished if you have not consulted spirit. Because now you're creating havoc in their life because they are under contract. They don't sold their spirit, and I mean sold their soul. And it's like, wait a minute, this ain't supposed to be happening, because we told you in subsection A that you couldn't do this and this and that. And so now you did this and this and that because somebody decided not to walk in the spirit, not to consult spirit. Also, too, it could be, and you'll know this when you do ancestor veneration, that your ancestors may not even mess with them in real life. And you over here helping the enemy. They may have a debt to you. They may have a debt to you in your bloodline and your lineage, and you over here helping the enemy. That's why it's important to venerate your ancestors, because you don't know, in everybody that you encounter in life for a brief period of time or an extended period of time, you had a past life with. Your ancestors had a past life with their ancestors. And you don't know the beef, the wars, the conflict, the battle that your ancestors may have with their ancestors, and you over there helping them. They're just the Trojan horse to come in into your territory and wreak all kind of havoc. But if you got a relationship with your ancestors will tell you, no, don't help them. We didn't mess with them like that 50 years ago. We didn't mess with them like that 100 years ago. You might have a dream and you'll see how it all played out. And that's why your ancestors are saying, no, don't help them. They not the homie. No, not at all. That is why we need to walk in the spirit, because then you cause all kind of imbalance. You cause all kind of chaos and disruption. Now the ancestors got to come and help clean it up because you didn't consult with them first, because you didn't even realize that in real life, you wasn't supposed to be messing with them in the first place. The ancestors just, no, not at all. Shoot, they owe us. And you're using our resources that we're giving to you, the resources that we're giving to you, you're using those resources on them, and they already owe us. They already got a debt to pay to us. No, no, no. This thing gets deep, people. This thing gets deep. Strengthen your spirit. Strengthen your spirit, because however you leave this earth, that's how it's going to be when you leave here. If you're low vibrational and you angry and you bitter and you always yelling, fussing, and cussing, you're going to be doing the same thing in the afterlife. You're going to be low vibrational there. And you're going to be even more so, because then you're going to be angry and upset because ain't nobody paying attention to you, because nobody's doing the ancestor veneration work in your family. So you're going to be even more angry, more bitter, more upset, because people ignoring you over there in the afterlife. And so then you're going to connect yourself with other miserable, you know, souls, and y'all just going to all join together. I am here. My assignment is to help people clear up as much as that as possible before they leave this plane. to get you to birth out of you what it is that you're supposed to do when you're here. And you're not able to see that or hear that or connect to that when when you just all over the place and you're just surrounding yourself with negativity. And then when you leave here, you got to explain and you looking silly, why didn't you fulfill your assignment here on earth? We sent you here to do this and you didn't do it. Why? You're going to be looking silly and feeling silly. That is when I say that I talk to the dead, when I say I talk to the dead, I am tapping into the wisdom of the dead because now that they are no longer here, they got a lot to say. It's the woulda, coulda, shoulda. And because a lot of them, they don't have anybody in their family venerating them. They have this wisdom that they want to share with those who will listen, and they use me as a channel and as a vessel. So I'm channeling the wisdom that's in the afterlife. I don't necessarily, there are some mediums who you can say, okay, can you tell me, I want to hear from my mother, or I want to hear from my grandma, or I want to hear from my best friend. I'm not that kind of medium. I'm the medium that channels the wisdom, the ancient wisdom, so that we can avoid going into the afterlife and repeating the same mistakes of those that are already there. That's the kind of medium I am. I channel wisdom, not necessarily what grandma used to say to you at 5 years old. I channel the wisdom. So we're not repeating the same mistakes. We're not going to purgatory. We're not being tormented in a place that, that is in the Western society called hell. We're not having to come back and do this thing again because we didn't get it right the last time we were here. And then it just takes us longer to elevate. I tap into those spirits who like, can we stop the foolishness? And can y'all get it right as much as possible while you're on this plane of existence, while you're there on earth? Can you get it right as much as possible so we can stop with the foolishness, so we can elevate? Those are the type of deities or spirits that I channel. So that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for listening to the live, watching the live, sharing the live. Thank you for the new subscribers. I'm noticing that you all really respond well to lives, that you like lives. So thank you so much. Like I said, if you want to schedule a reading with me, look in the description box. You can either do so on my website or you can email me. And until next time, stay peaceful and stay grateful.